Hello everybody and welcome to 2024. Today is already day 9 and it's the second time, apart from the New Year's Day, that I go outside. So I thought I'll take this opportunity to tell you more about our summer trip to Norway, since I have not managed to make a video summarizing that trip. There's a lot of challenges when you go on a big road trip like this, and we thought we were quite prepared, but obviously most vloggers, when they go on a road trip, they show you like the epic exciting things, which in our case, I mean, there were some epic exciting things. So you spent 3 hours coming here to see a rock. I told you there was like exactly the same rock in the parking lot. I don't know why we came. But it was really actually just a lot of mundane driving. So thing number one that you have to keep in mind when you go on a big road trip like 3 months or 2 months or even 1 month is that there's gonna be a lot of driving.
It's insupportable. There's room nowhere to go.
It's super bad.
Yeah, I know.
If you think that you're gonna be going to epic locations and walking around looking for vistas to photograph, in our case it was not really the case.
There's a million camper vans, but there's no auto park.
Because the weather was really quite bad in the beginning of our trip. It was raining, I would say, maybe 28 days out of the first month. There was a big storm when we just arrived to Scandinavia, and it continued being like this. Then we had a lot of people joining us on our journey, and everybody had their own agenda. So if you are planning to go on a road trip, I would rather suggest that you go by yourself or with a person that you know you can trust with the decisions of what to do. Because me, myself, like I didn't manage to take any photos from epic locations because reason number 2, get the fuck out of here. Reason number 2 was that the people always wanted to do something else. We didn't have time to stop anywhere because we had to drive for like 6 hours to be somewhere, and then when we arrived we would normally be so tired that we just cook some food and just go to sleep. If you manage to sleep, because in Scandinavia the weather is quite particular. I mean, it's not the weather, it's just because there is no night really, so you have to keep in mind that you have to sleep during the day, sort of, because the sun doesn't really go down. Yeah, and so most of the pictures that I took during that trip, and most of the videos as well, apart from occasional sit-down vlogs, were from the car window. And I did take a camera and a tripod, and I don't think I did do one time like taking out the tripod and taking pictures. We did pass a lot of waterfalls and beautiful places, but most of the time there was no space to even park, because the summers there were so many people going to Scandinavia that all the parking spots were just full of camper vans and mobile homes and whatnot. That goes as well for any camping spots that you consider, going to if you're preferring wild camping. We would imagine that we would be doing a lot of wild camping because we were quite equipped to live off the grid, but that didn't happen because there was just no space for us anywhere. And one thing that you don't really realize if you don't drive around Norway everywhere like we did is that there is very limited space on the side of the road, because mostly it's the road and then it's just the sea, or the road in the mountains, and it's just like that. There is no really space to go, and sometimes there are some camping grounds where you have to pay, and those as well. Sometimes, the best ones get booked in advance, and you just cannot find a space for yourself. The same thing was with driving. Like, it sounds good, driving around the mountains with the fjords around. Unless you get stuck with like 5 people in camper vans driving at 45 kilometers per hour, and you just have to drive like this, and it's really tiring, and you cannot overtake because all the roads are like 1-lane road. And this is the case, just have to live with this. Another thing, is that when it's raining, it's not really inspiring to get out and take pictures. You just sit and drink tea and hope that the bad weather passes. And on top of that, there's of course mosquitoes. But what to do? Mosquitoes are part of life. Yeah. On the positive side, when it was my birthday, we were in the north of Norway, and we decided to go to Lofoten Islands afterwards. And the weather in Lofoten Islands was amazing. It was really, really beautiful and sunny. I mean, I live in Dubai, so I really got used to living in the sunny weather, and the shitty weather every day is actually something that affects your mind and mood a lot. On top of that, when you have to camp or share a cabin with other people who are snoring, you can't really rest, and your mood is also not great. On top of that, I broke a tooth, so I had to go to the dentist to extract a tooth, which also was not really the positive moment of the trip, but this is also life, it has to be done. In the first days of our trip, we had quite a dilemma about cooking, because we bought cooking appliance which didn't come with the gas bottle, so we tried to find the gas bottle, but the people who were shopping in the shopping centers couldn't really help us and couldn't give us advice about what actually we had to purchase. So everybody had an opinion, and actually none of them were right. So we had to study the gas problem and go to like about 15 stores until we found the solution. So the first 2 weeks of our trip, we were just trying to figure out how to cook food on our gas things. But by 14th of July, finally, everything came together and we managed to prepare food by ourselves in our camp.
Gas bottle inside the gas thingy, the fucking gas thing.
Solved our gas problem.
Like the camping gas. They just give you extra gas.
Doesn't look like it. Are you kidding me?
I regret to inform you that our gas adventure is still incomplete.
Connect to our gas bottles.
So you can now use the Norwegian gas. Congratulations.
It's time to gas.
Look at that, we're cooking with gas bottles. I'll just tape them around me and go, I want the fucking pipe. Sorry.
Yeah, like when you're also camping in Norway, you basically will be going to 3 like hypermarkets, and the variety of food is usually quite the same, so don't think that you're gonna be eating some gourmet food. It's mostly barbecue or sausages. Like, we ate so many sausages, too many sausages. The chips are great though. Yeah, the beverages in the alcoholic section in Norway are quite satisfactory, unlike Sweden. Sweden did not really provide us with any great choice of drinks. Yeah, apart from that, we did see Northern Lights one time, or at least we think we saw. There was some stuff in the sky on a very cold night, almost by the end of our trip. Another thing that we also figured out is that people actually were not really that friendly in Norway, and it seems that the case because there was a lot of tourists, and Norwegians by themselves are quite reserved people, so they were not so happy that so many people come. But basically, I mean, we're making money for you, we're going to your camping grounds, and nobody really wants to speak to you, nobody really wants to be friendly. And basically, you know, all those like American movies where people in the camping sit around the fire and play the music and listen to the guitar, like that's not really the case. Most people are sitting in their camper van and watching satellite TV, and if you cross grounds with them, like, you know, by going to the bathroom or something, they're not even really willing to talk to you. And some people were like so autistic that if you just look wrong at them, they start being mean and, you know, try to play tricks on you and stuff. Like, everybody is like fighting for their space in the kitchen or to wash the dishes. It's really quite crazy. I mean, okay, so talking about Lofoten, it's a beautiful place, but it's a very small place. Like, you can visit the whole island or islands because they're connected by some bridges in one day. Basically, you can drive back and forth in one day, but the most famous spot in Lofoten is called Rent City. So in Rent, there was so many people, it was just like, there was just crowds of people walking down the street, and, you know, all of those like influencers, ladies, you know, in flowy dresses with the hats, you know, pretending that their life is so blessed. So it's very photogenic, but like, not, I wouldn't say that's the most photogenic place out of the whole Norway. Like, there's a lot of places which are similar, good looking like this, but it's just like compacted in one spot. But again, like, there was no chance to take any photos because the parking was so packed with cars that there's just no chance to stop, nowhere really. But so what's my favorite part of this whole trip? Can't even say that it's related to nature or anything. It just, when the weather was warmer, and thinking about this, maybe it was not a great idea to go to Scandinavia, because actually I really don't like cold weather. It's not my jam at all. It was cool to see the jumping salmons out of the river, where you can just stand by the river and you can see them jumping. We saw only one elk. Actually, no, I saw two, but one we just passed by and my husband didn't see, so we didn't even stop to take pictures, but we saw one. We saw plenty of reindeers. Reindeers are funny and quite a nuisance for the country. They're just like roaming around and destroying the road. And harassing people in the cars, but you know, they were a nice addition to the trip. I really liked the most northern European city called Königsberg. We stayed there for 2 days and we went to the North Cap twice. Both time the weather was just very foggy and we couldn't see anything. But because we visited it previously, I didn't really mind so much that the weather was different that time. But yeah, again, like we went to the North Cap and it's the northernmost part of Europe and you would imagine people would be excited there. But no, some people like arrived to the parking and they are just trying to install the satellite dish to watch something. I don't know what, like really, I don't understand this mentality of going 10,000 kilometers from home to watch the news or the TV show or whatever you guys are watching there. Like really surprising. Yeah, also I had quite a bad bronchitis for like about 3 weeks. I didn't have a voice, I couldn't speak, I was really tired and quite sick, so
Salam. Hello.
that was an unfortunate thing as well. But by the end of our trip the weather got better. Actually, there was a big storm in the south of Norway which destroyed some bridges and some houses, but somehow the storm had pushed the warm weather up, and this is why we got to enjoy maybe 4 or 5 days of really warm and sunny weather. We decided to go on a hike, and the weather was really so warm that I personally overheated. We love wind.
We love wind and we love
Wind is the best.
boob sweat from Dennis.
Wind is our best friend.
Boob sweat is also-
Yeah, boob sweat is the best.
And then by the time that we reached the top of the hike, it became so windy that we couldn't stand and the wind was blowing us away, and it was starting to feel that it's actually quite dangerous.
Alaikum salam. That's not what important at control.
The sunset that day was really beautiful, but we were like again in some strange camping, and there was like storm weather, so the whole night when we were sleeping in the tent we're feeling like we're gonna be blown away by the wind, like Ellie in Kansas, and ended up somewhere in the land of Oz. Overall, I have mixed feelings about this trip, and there were of course some great moments of great companionship, but there was just too much driving. I don't really like taking pictures out of the window of the car. I like to spend my time, walk around. And the previous time when we went to Norway in 2017, I had plenty of time and plenty of space. We could go wherever we like, but this time it was just too busy. Like the whole Europe went to Norway, and everybody was so unfriendly as well. It just started to get on our nerves, like how unfriendly the Norwegians are. Went to Sweden for maybe about a week and a half, and Swedish people seem to be quite much nicer, quite much friendlier. But again, I don't know. The northern people in general are like that. So I will leave you with some photos from our trip, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. You take care and enjoy the rest of your 2024. See you soon.